Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Overwatch video. This one's going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to be commentating over any match footage. I have match footage playing, but I'm going to be talking about something different. I think something that people should know is how the health and the armor and the shields work in this game, and it's something that a lot of people have been kind of talking about recently, as of today. I don't know when I'm going to put this video up, but there was a video and there's a Reddit post by Blue Eyed Illusion, which I'll link in the description and I'll try to put on the screen right now. He's got a kind of breakdown of how the different tiers of health work, or tiers of like protection, I guess, work in Overwatch. Basically, I'm not going to go maybe I'll go super into detail in a little bit, but basically what you need to know is that you've got health, you've got shields, and you've got armor. Health is the red stuff you see on enemies, or the white stuff you see on your character when you're playing them. You got shields, which are blue, and then armor, which is yellow. They're kind of in tiered systems, so health will kill you when it's reduced to 0. Shields are depleted before health, and then if you have armor is depleted after shields, so it's in the middle. So it means that shields are always first, armor is always second if it's there, and then health is always last to be depleted when you get shot at. So one of the important things with shields are they go on top of health. They can be regenerated by going and picking up health packs. So if like Symmetra, she can put shields on players. If she puts a shield on you, you can go heal it up. If you get reduced a little bit by getting hit by something, you can go heal it back up. Or a healer can actually heal up your shields, because shields are just kind of like extra health almost in a way. Because they except for there's like one difference, but otherwise they can come back if you go and get health packs and stuff like that. So shields are good. The trick with shields are that they regenerate after 3 seconds of not getting hit. So if you take some damage and then you manage to not take any more damage for 3 more seconds, you will get 25 shield per second after that 3 seconds of period between taking damage. So that means shields kind of are self-sustaining if you are not in the midst of like a firefight, which is important because characters with shields like Zarya just means that like Zarya should pop in and out of taking heavy damage because she can get that health back in a way. Even though she does have health, she has a lot of shields. Then you got armor. Armor makes it a little bit more confusing because you have health, and then you got shields above that, and then armor. As soon as you pick up armor, maybe from like Torbjorn's armor pack, it goes in between the shields and the health. So armor is depleted after the shield. So basically what armor does is armor is like a protection that actually reduces damage. So that's why somebody like D.Va has armor, because it's very important for tanks. So the thing with armor is it reduces each damage source by 5. And that's really important to understand because it means that when somebody like Tracer is shooting you a bunch, she has really weak but fast bullets. They get reduced by 5 every... Well, actually, this is a little contested. I think some people think it's per shot, like a shotgun pellet. Or it's... per shot versus like a shotgun pellet or every bullet. So I don't know which one it is exactly. Either way, it basically just means per shot it doesn't matter. I mean, either way, smaller shots are going to be reduced by more than like a big shot. So if somebody hits you for 100, armor's going to make it 95 because the max it can bring down is 5, right? But if somebody hits you for like 20, it's going to be 15. So the same thing, 5. But the one catch is that it doesn't reduce, like it doesn't completely eliminate any damage. So if somebody hits you for some reason, I don't know what example this would be, but if somebody hits you for 4 damage, it's not going to take away 5 and just make it to where like you don't take any damage, or it's definitely not going to heal you for 1 damage because it would be -1 if you -5. But it will reduce it by half. So if you take 4 damage, it's actually going to take 2 damage with your armor. The key thing with armor too is that armor like the damage reduction from armor actually applies to shields if you have shields. So if you have somebody like Zarya who's got a bunch of shields and she picks up an armor pack from Torbjorn, then her shields are now armor until those shields are depleted and her armor's depleted, right? So that's really important to know because that means that Torbjorn is like really effective to drop that armor because he can turn shields into armor. I mean, he makes Zarya like super, super strong. And that's just like, that can really change the flow of a game and change on, depending on like, or change your decision on who you want to pick as a hero. So basically, to kind of go back over that, we got health, which is just exactly what you'd expect. You take damage and nothing's reduced. You just, if you get to 0 health, you're dead. You got shields. Those are depleted before health. Shields regenerate after 3 seconds at a rate of 25 per second. And shields always come before HP. And then you got armor, and shields always get hit, I guess, before armor. But armor reduces damage sources by 5 each. It's a little bit contested on whether that's every like bullet or every pellet of a shotgun blast, or if it's just every shotgun blast is reduced by 5, which is a pretty big difference. I don't know. The Reddit post says like in the beta it used to be per shot, and now it is every like per pellet of a shotgun blast. So like every shotgun blast from Reaper would be reduced by a ton more than it would if it was every blast itself. If it was every bullet, it would be a lot more. But anyway, armor comes after shields if you have armor. And then, and I forgot to mention too, so healers will heal armor faster, I believe. They get, I forget how much, they heal it 50% faster. So armor is just really useful because it can be healed back, and that's why you have like healers on tanks, because that's a good thing to do. So basically what this really means when you put it all together is that like D.Va is really strong because she's got that armor. She's really strong against smaller attacks, which you kind of could have inferred, but knowing some of the math behind it is kind of nice, because now you know that like, okay, well, I know a Tracer's not going to do very much damage to me unless I really don't pay attention to her, so I can really just stand there and take a Tracer out. But like a Pharah is going to take some chunks out of your health because she does a lot of damage in one hit. So you got to be careful. Of course, you could just kind of dodge her stuff too. There's different ways around it, but it's just important to know. Also, if you're playing Zarya, if you got a Torbjorn, that's going to be nice. You can pick up a Zarya and then go and pick up his armor packs or whatever you want to do. But just knowing how the shield and the health and the armor work is something the game doesn't really make very clear, and I think clearing it up could help you play the game. I mean, it's not going to it's not going to make you like a better player immediately, but knowing that will just kind of inform what characters you choose, and that's always, it's good to have tools in this game to know, or like, I guess notifiers of how to play differently if you're struggling. So if you know that like, okay, I'm getting really destroyed as Winston or something, I should maybe pop into Zarya because we have a Torbjorn, or maybe I know that they have a McCree and Zarya, or not a Zarya, but a Tracer. Maybe they have like 2 Tracers for some reason, and I can pop into a D.Va and I know I can take that. Or we got a healer and I got armor, so this, there's different combinations this is going to get used. So it's just good information to know. Again, I'll link to the Reddit post, and then Drifter has a really good video that goes into more depth on how much damage each character deals, I believe. So that will help you too if you want to know like exactly how much damage Tracer does, for example. It'll help you know like, okay, well, how effective is armor and shields against these different characters. But for now, that's what I think is really important to know, especially since the game didn't explain it. If the game explained it, I wouldn't go over it like this, but I think I found myself thinking a little bit differently, especially in the game you're seeing now. Playing as D.Va. It was my first game as D.Va where I felt like I actually knew what I was doing, and it was probably just like a really easy team, and I probably was just being like faked into thinking I was doing really good, but I felt like I was doing good, and maybe that's all that's important. But yeah, so that's how health, armor, shields work in Overwatch, and hopefully that helps you play the game a little bit better, or at least kind of know more about the game and appreciate some of how it works. So, in the future, I've got more Overwatch videos, probably more match stuff, maybe more discussion of like some higher-end strategy stuff as I get into it myself, because I think some of this stuff is kind of fun to talk about, and it'll help your game even at a low level. That's kind of my goal, is to try to make this stuff a little bit easier to understand if you're not like a hardcore player or something, which I'm definitely not. I think some of this stuff is still important, at least on a low level, but yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. There's a ton of other videos I got up. I got one of Soldier 76, Bastion, Tracer. I'm going to have more Tracer, getting better at Tracer. And yeah, I hope to do a bunch more. So see you in the next video.